Hello and welcome to Mind Over Matter Episode 8 TV show. Please stay tuned for lots of different guests, inspiring stories. Thank you. Hello, I'm Anastasia. Welcome, Anna Storey.
Hello.
So I believe that you are a therapist, aren't you?
That's right, yeah.
So
Yeah,
what?
and the counsellor.
Okay. So what do you? What field in therapy are you in? Like?
Oh, general counselling, depression, anxiety, relationships.
Okay.
Life issues.
Yeah. So the topic we'll be talking about is self-blame.
Right.
So I feel like we blame ourselves all the time in relationships, in friendships, that everything is our fault.
Yeah.
How can we kind of stop blaming ourselves and to know that it's not our fault? How can we make ourselves believe that? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because we all have what's called inner critic. This is an internal voice, which is critical.
Okay.
And we all have it, and it's constantly telling us what's wrong with us. Have we done something wrong? Like, you're not perfect, you're not good, these people don't like you, and it's always there. But as long as we become aware of that voice, and we know that it is there, we can do things like write it down, for example, record what it's telling us, and keep recording, and then after a while, we just realize that it's very repetitive, it's telling us the same things, and then these things don't really make logical sense.
Yes, that's true, because...
Do you recognize something like that?
Yes, and also, like, I think affirmations help to say that, you know, we are good enough, it's not our fault.
Yeah.
You know, if we tell ourselves that, maybe that can help too.
Yes, that helps too, but until that voice is there in the background, affirmations won't really work fully.
Yes.
So you have to be aware exactly what are you telling yourself that's negative. Because when it's written down, then it's easier for your brain to separate it from your other feelings and positivity and affirmations. And then you'll know that this is just my inner critical voice. That's what it's telling. It's repetitive. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
And then it becomes more manageable, if you see what I mean.
I do know what you mean. And I had another question for you about it. Do you think it's a sign of weakness that we are blaming ourselves? Do you think it's a weak...
No, absolutely not, because we are all doing that to a greater or lesser extent. And it's just stemming from our childhood. It's a kind of a primitive protection system, defense system, that's when we were growing up, that was formed to help us be safe. Like, for example, we should blame ourselves for things that go wrong around us.
Yes.
So we all have it, it's fine, it's part of us, but it shouldn't be part of us in present time. It should belong to the past.
Exactly.
It's still bugging us now.
Yes. And also having people in your life that is always blaming you.
Yeah.
And making you feel like it's all your fault all the time.
Yeah,
that doesn't help too.
That inner voice, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
It just makes it stronger. Yeah.
But I guess it's having that self-worth, self-love and believing in yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And not listening to other people.
Not taking it in and then confirming it to yourself, saying, yeah, they're right, yeah, I'm not good enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what tips can you give to kind of build that self-esteem? What kind of advice can you tell people?
Well, that's what I started with, is just first become aware of this negativity, because some people say, oh, I don't have any negative internal voice, and then they realize that they do. So it's very important to know exactly what are you telling yourself, write it down, and then slowly it will separate from your feelings. You will know that it exists, but it will not upset you anymore.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, you'll think, oh, it's just my critic, it's all right, yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, we just need to be strong,
Yeah.
understand everything. So is there anything else that you would like to share about that?
Just looking after yourself, really, and as part of the whole process, you become aware of this negative part, but also be aware of what is really happening, like how you are working.
So when you say it comes from your childhood, like, doesn't it come from your experiences, what you've been through, or does it come from your childhood?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, that's how you grew up, basically, because when you grow up, your family is your whole world, so you form your view of the world according to your family.
Yes.
That's how things were, what you were told.
So it depends how your upbringing was.
Yeah,
that makes you who you are now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I didn't think of it like that. That's true.
Yeah.
But as we get older, we learn.
Yeah.
And
We learn, but we often still carry that old stuff within us. Yeah.
it is. But we can become something new from when we were younger,
Yeah,
if that makes
absolutely,
sense. So, yeah. Okay. So that's all. But it was great having you on the show.
Thank you.
Anna is our therapist, and obviously, if you need any advice, you can go on her website or her social media to speak to her if you want to. There's also other sites that you can go on as well if you're needing that support. But thank you, and stay tuned for the next interview.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Mind Over Matter. I'm Sophia and I've been joined by the lovely Kiwi. Hi Kiwi, welcome to the show.
Hi Sophia, thank you for having me on.
Thank you for joining us. You've got an incredible story to tell us. Let's start with your journey and what brings you here today.
So my journey, I guess, in a kind of snippet, is it talks about my cancer journey where I was diagnosed with cancer in 2012, potentially given a short time to live, come through the other side, and thankfully I'm here today because of the marvel of medicine. And then I went through a spiralling dark period in 2015 where I went through 6 bereavements in 7 months, and I didn't deal with it particularly well. And so I went down a really dark place using alcohol as my sort of medicine, and I tried to do the unfortunate thing and planned to take my own life. And then I didn't, and I came through the other side. And now I guess, without sounding cheesy, it's using my journey to hopefully help other people and steer them away from potentially getting to that dark place.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
We're grateful that you came out the other side.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And that it didn't go as planned. And you're here today to share your experience and hopefully, as you said, help others.
Yeah, that's the plan. I always say if you can use what was a profoundly dark period of my life to hopefully help one person, and if that keeps one person away from suicide, then you know what, maybe, just maybe, all the rubbish stuff that happened, maybe it happened for a reason.
Absolutely, and you've saved a life.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So let's start with kind of that dark period. Where did it? Can you pinpoint it? Is there a starting place where you can say this is where it kind of began?
Yeah, I think it sort of started when I went through my separation at the time. So I was diagnosed with cancer in 2012, and then I got married that year because initially I was given a 3-month diagnosis of living potentially, and so everything kind of stops, doesn't it? When you're told you might have only a short time to live, Absolutely. You just think, well, I'll just go to where I'm going to go to and do what I'm going to do, and that separation I think was probably the catalyst that started it. But I think it was more, that culminated with the bereavements, I think, because it wasn't necessarily just one bereavement. It was the fact that there was 6 in 7 months, and it was, I had no time for my brain to reset itself.
Yeah.
and I describe this. So that's why and for everyone listening, they'll get used to my analogies of randomness, mainly because it makes sense in my simple brain, as I call it.
Sometimes they help.
They do, and if it helps people to understand mental health and depression, and
exactly.
then it's a good thing. So I describe it as an elastic band, and essentially, if your elastic band stretches because of some trauma or some difficulty, and it resets itself, you're then prepped for it to deal with another set of trauma, right? But what happens if you deal with cancer and then bereavement and separation, bereavement? You know, eventually it's going to snap, or it might be one huge trauma that makes it snap. And so, what happens if it can't reset itself? And that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
You know, it just was a culmination of so many different bereavements that I couldn't reset. And unfortunately, the only place, as elastic bands do, if you stretch and put enough pressure on them, they snap, and that's what happened to me.
Yeah, of course, and we're human. These things. Talk to us about. We had a conversation earlier about kind of the moments leading up to your suicide attempt. Talk to us about that and what was going on in your mind at that time.
So I guess for me, in that 7 months, and I'll take it back a step if that's all right. So when the final bereavement happened, which is my uncle, Bhaskar uncle in India, when he died, it was like the final culmination of, right, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah. And then the way that I dealt with it is I just dealt with it through alcohol, and I dealt with it by focusing on anything else than the trauma that was impending in my mind. And so what led me to the suicide was two things really. The elastic band snapped, and I finally went down this really dark place. And one of two things happens when you go down a dark place: somebody will save you, or you spiral further. Mm-hmm. And for me, when I didn't really talk to anyone about it, and then when I did talk to some people, I got responses like, "Pull yourself together, man up, sort yourself out. You know, Kiwi, you beat cancer, you can beat this." And although they were trying to be helpful, I don't think they were very helpful, because what it left me feeling was, well, maybe I'm just being a burden. And for anyone who watches this video and knows me, knows that I never want to be a burden to people. So, well, actually, my friends would always say that I'm a burden because they always give me a lift everywhere. But I think I didn't want to put pressure on other people. Yeah. So I thought, well, if I'm being a burden, and if there's that much pressure, maybe I just shouldn't be here.
You almost felt like you were to blame.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I thought, I don't want to be the person that's causing additional pressure to people. So if I kill myself, I'm not going to do that. It just ends, doesn't it?
Yeah. You felt like almost you were relieving them of your...
Yeah.
Of your stress.
Of my burden. Yeah.
And who were you kind of reaching out to for help? Was it family? Was it friends? Was it colleagues? And was the kind of response quite consistent?
So I didn't reach out to family. I mean, I think, you know, and I don't mean this in a horrible way, in the South Asian community, we don't often air our dirty laundry, and even to each other. Like, we just don't talk about this stuff, right? You know, if something's happened, then you keep it inside and you just deal with it. And that to me isn't particularly helpful, because actually all we really create is a culture that says, don't talk about your feelings.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I didn't talk to my family because it's not the dumb thing. I didn't talk to colleagues because, again, the culture in policing is very much was a taboo around mental health back then. You know, if you owned up to the fact that you had depression, potentially you might not ever work in firearms. You might never work in counter-terrorism. You might never work in a specialist unit because you're seen as somebody that's got mental health issues, you know, and that's it, your career's over.
And that's taboo.
Massive. Yeah. And it's also potentially career ending. So I didn't tell anyone at work. And then I did try and talk to some friends about it, and the ones that I did talk to about it just weren't really helpful. They just had no empathy, which is why for me, I guess, when I do these talks, and I do a lot of stuff on social media, and I do this thing called Kiwi's Wellbeing Wednesday. So every Wednesday I try and post a message around well-being, and I think it's this is the 4th year I've been doing it, and I think what I always talk about is the need for empathy. And empathy's like any muscle, any tool, right? You don't wake up one day and that's it, you've got empathy. You have to work at it. You have to put effort into it.
You've got to exercise it, haven't you?
Completely, yeah. And even myself, like my view around suicide when I was younger was you're weak. Genuinely, that was my view. And I thought, if somebody kills themselves, how can things get that bad that you want to kill yourself? Isn't life really, really precious?
I think many people would share that view, actually.
Yeah, and I think, you know, when you're 18, 20, and you've got no worries in the world, yeah, of course life is precious. But my view now, so being on the other end of it and telling people that I plan to take my own life is really weird for me. But I think the truth is, you have to learn empathy. You have to learn to choose a different mindset.
Yeah.
And I often say to people, I personally think if you don't have empathy in your heart and in your life, I think you're missing a part of your body. I genuinely believe that now, and I don't think it comes automatic. It's something you have to practice. And I use the examples of going to the gym, right? I can do pull-ups now, right? I can probably do 12 pull-ups in a row, right? Which is great. But when I first started doing pull-ups, I couldn't do any at all. I had to use the assisted machine and everything, right? So I had to practice getting better at pull-ups. I had to practice getting stronger. Empathy is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a learned skill that you choose to get better at, or you choose not to.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to learn it. It's definitely a learning skill.
Yeah.
Over time.
Yeah, and that's what, you know, for me, I think was lacking in the people that I tried to reach out for. So I thought, if I'm being a burden, and this is how I felt, you know, if I was being a burden, maybe I just shouldn't be here.
What do you feel was, at that time, kind of one emotion that stood out for you? Was it shame? Was it frustration? Was it anger? Loneliness? What kind of stood out for you at that time? Or can you pinpoint it to one? Or was it kind of...
I can probably pinpoint to two emotions, really. So the first one is loneliness. You know, I would often divert my mind to other stuff. Yeah. You know, I was single at the time, so I was, you know, on every dating app you can imagine. I was going on dates and I was, you know, drinking lots, and I was going out and partying and having fun, and, you know, so I was diverting my mind. And I would be in a room with lots and lots of people, but be the loneliest person.
Yeah.
And the other feeling when the alcohol wore off and I woke up with a hangover, it was just a sense of complete hopelessness, and kind of impending doom with that hopelessness. And it felt like, I guess how I describe it is it just felt like a dark cloud had completely engulfed my brain, and I could see the light, and that was, I guess, the hope in me, because I genuinely believe hope is the most powerful emotion. It really is. In the darkest hour, if you've got a small amount of hope, it can cling you to life. And that, I still had some hope, believe it or not, in a weird sort of way. I still had hope, and that's the optimist in me.
I mean, it's interesting because it is important, absolutely, but it can also be incredibly fragile. And, you know, what would you say to those out there who've lost all that hope, who are in that sense of just complete despair?
So what I would say to those that have lost all hope is, I turn the phrase and I would say to their loved ones and friends and family, reach out, you know, and don't reach out just once, and don't just ask somebody how are you once. I use the 3 rule, which is ask somebody 3 times how they are, right? If somebody really is okay, by the 3rd time they're going to tell you to jog on. If they're not okay, by the 3rd time they might open up. And so that's what I would say to friends if you think someone's losing hope. To the person that's losing hope, what I would say is, and I guess I want to word this carefully, I actually don't think anyone ever loses true hope, and I genuinely believe that. Even in my darkest hour, I didn't lose hope. Fully didn't lose hope, because there was a bit of me in my brain that said, maybe, just maybe. And I think what I would say to anybody is, when you think you've lost all hope, ask yourself this question: what if something was different? You know, what if something was different? And it may not be, but what if it was? And that's the question I use actually with a lot of my friends when they talk to me about stuff. And lots of my friends have opened up very confidentially about lots of things. Yeah. And I ask them the question, and they say, there's no hope left and there's nothing left. And I said, but what if there was? And they say, but there isn't. But what if there was? And there isn't. And I said, but what if there was? And then I remind them that you say there's no hope. I said, I'm sitting in front of you here. Yeah. As somebody that believes in you.
Yeah, as real proof.
Yeah. And so I think, which is why I bring back to my original point, hope comes from other people, and it comes from my loved ones, and it comes from the plain, basic simplicity of interaction with other human beings.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also it's a testament, isn't it, to human resilience and to the resilience of the human mind and the spirit, really, that you can come back from darkness. It is possible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Let's talk more about perhaps your role now, what you do now as a mental health advocate. How important is that as a man, first of all, stepping forward into kind of the mental health space, and as a man from a South Asian background? You talked a bit about that as well.
Yeah. I think it's really weird. Lots of people say to me, you're doing all this great work, Kiwi, and I've never been one to blow my own trumpet, and that's just who I am. But I've also always coined a phrase, which is, I'm just doing things that are necessary. I've been a scout leader for 20 years, right? And I ran a scout troop for help, with help of others, ran a scout troop and explorer scout unit. So I worked with 10 to 18-year-olds for about 10 years. I did it because it was something that was needed, and I got enjoyment out of it, massive, right? When you help a young person develop, and for me, it's the same thing around my mental health advocacy stuff. I have two tranches, I guess, of work that I do, and there's the cancer journey bit, and talking about cancer and breaking down the taboo and just getting people to be a little bit more honest, and really having those difficult conversations, and almost sometimes pulling the elephant in the room and saying, do you know what? Let's just pull this really awkward thing called cancer. Let's pull it in the room and talk about it, right? Let's talk about the fact that men need to check their testicles. Let's talk about the fact that women need to check their breasts when they're in the shower. Yeah. Let's talk about ovarian cancer and the fact that you need to get screened. Why? Because it is a silent killer. Let's talk about these really, really embarrassing things. Yeah. Men who are over a certain age, do you know what? When you go to the doctor and the doctor has to put a finger up your bum, it's not because they're going to get something out of it. They're doing it because they want to check that your prostate is okay. Do you know what? Let's break down some of these goddamn barriers. Yeah. And let's just be honest about it.
It's going to save lives.
Exactly. And I think what we need is a little bit more humility and a bit of humour around this stuff. And when I say humour, I'm very careful of how I word this, because I don't think anything I talk about is funny. But I do have humour behind it, right? And when I talk about my cancer journey, my cancer is called chronic myeloid leukemia. It's a genetic mutation. So when I do these talks, I stand up on stage and I say, this is my cancer, and it's called chronic myeloid leukemia, and I was told it's a genetic mutation, and I stop and I go, and I thought to myself, genetic mutation, I know where I've heard that, X-Men. And I thought, I'm going to get this awesome power, I'm going to get to move like metal and stuff like that, or read minds or fly. No, I have to go to Hammersmith Hospital for 3 months, and I take this dodgy chemo. No superpowers, just this horrible cancer, But I think,
mind you, I think it's given you some special superpowers. Actually,
I think, I think it has, and I think I'm very humbled by it. I as I say, I do work around my cancer journey with Macmillan, and I try and break down barriers with cancer. My father and I did this mother tongue video, which is, it was a pleasure to do with my dad, and then I also do work with Movember, because talking about men's health is a massive taboo. Men don't do it because there's this whole chivalry kind of like, I need to be hard and square your shoulders.
Masculine,
which is
alpha male.
It's utter rubbish, right? Utter rubbish. I use this analogy, right? Our body's made up of mental health, emotional health, and physical health. If you break your arm or your leg, where do you get treatment? Hospital. Do you spend 12 months in hospital? No. You have recovery at home, right? Treatment, recovery, simple thing that we understand when you break your arm or your leg. Counselling is your treatment. Your recovery happens when you're walking home, when you're having your spaghetti bolognese, or you're having a burger with extra pickles, or you're having your latte, or walking and talking to your friends, or walking in the park. Treatment, recovery. One's physical, one's mental. The difference is one you can see and one you can't.
Yeah, they're equally important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
It's true. If you've got an injury, you'd treat it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, completely.
Go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Call the GP.
Yeah.
So the same thing can be said of the mind.
Exactly. And I think I personally feel that I'm a young South Asian male who is a police officer, who's a scout leader, who has been through cancer, depression, tried to take his own life, or attempted to take his own life, and has come through the other side, right?
You've broken down a lot of barriers there.
Exactly, yeah. I can break down tons and tons of barriers. And when I stand up, and I've probably done about 40 or 50 keynote speaks now, so keynote speeches, and for me, it was never about monetizing this, right? It was never ever about that. It was always about standing up and using it to hopefully help other people. And as I said before, if I can stand on stage, and I talked the other week to at an all-girls school, and I spoke to, I think, about 160 students, and if one of them can relate to something I've talked about and go, I need to reach out to my friends, I need to reach out to the teacher, I need to get some help, then maybe that stuff that happened in my life, maybe it was meant to happen. You know, as horrible as it sounds, maybe it was meant to happen. I'm not particularly religious, but I do believe in fate. And maybe our journey in life is meant to be the way it's meant to be.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, maybe I was meant to go through this stuff so that I can sit here now
exactly.
on a mental health matters program and talk about this to other people, so that they can watch this video at some stage and go, yeah, I can relate to that, you know.
And there'll be definitely, you know, young men out there watching you in the police force or from a South Asian background as well, just going through the same struggles and thinking, I'm not alone.
No.
And there is hope.
And I think just on that, actually, it's just come to my mind. I'm currently a police sergeant, and at the end of this year, I'm on like a fast track program within policing. It's a national fast track program. At the end of this year, I'll be an inspector, and so, you know, I'll have responsibility for a team of, you know, 3 or 4 sergeants and between 20 and 30 police constables. You know, if I can stand up as a leader and say I've been through my own challenges and struggles, I hope that the rest of the team will go, yeah, do you know what, I can reach out to that governor and I can talk about it. And I hope that it inspires other leaders to go, if we stand up and we go, I'm not completely perfect and stuff has happened in my life, but I've come through the other side, that actually leaders turn around and go, that is incredible resilience. That's what we need. Maybe we just need to be a bit more honest about that.
Like you said, just talk about things that are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be the cancer diagnosis, whether it be depression, just have open conversations about these things.
Yeah, and I think I think the more that we talk about it, the more we break down barriers. When we break down barriers, we make conversations a little bit simpler. When we make conversations a little bit simpler, people open up. And if people open up, maybe, just maybe, they don't do what I did. And that's always been my ultimate hope, which is, you know, I went to the darkest place that you can go. You know, I literally had planned on that Monday morning at 11 o'clock at Osterley train station, I was going to jump in front of a train. And I knew it. I knew that time. I knew what was going to happen. And I chose, as I said, that time because on a Monday morning at 11 o'clock, there's no rush hour. More importantly, there's no children about. I'm going to cause least amount of disruption for people. And at the train station that I chose to jump in front of, I knew that I could do it at the last minute where the driver wouldn't see me. So I'd have least impact on everybody.
So even in your darkest moment, you were being like incredibly considerate.
Yeah.
I think that's a testament to like just human spirit, isn't it? Just
yeah. And I guess,
human spirit.
yeah, that's who I am.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I'm here today.
Yeah, absolutely, to tell your story. Before we finish, want to finish on a positive note. You mentioned this. Was it fitness or fosters? Is this your
your
thing?
Yeah. So my intervention, it came in a very unlikely place. As I said, I'd made this plan on a Monday. This is what I was going to do on a Monday morning, and over the weekend, I think it was a Sunday, and I was scrolling through YouTube on, you know, the short videos.
Yeah.
So I was scrolling through YouTube, and this video came up saying calisthenics saved my life. I thought, what's this? So I clicked on the video, and it was about a story about a guy in America who had gone through similar mental health issues as myself, but had been hospitalised. And in the hospital that he was in, there was a little fitness area, and it was like a pull-up bar and a dip machine and stuff. And he went out and he started doing pull-ups. And the more he did pull-ups and push-ups and exercised, his antidepressants were being lowered to a point where he didn't need them anymore. And the fitness became his antidepressant. And my brain went to the hope bit which is why I always talk about hope being so powerful. Maybe there's hope. Yeah. So I thought, maybe if I just, let me see what happens. Yeah. So I did 50 push-ups and 50 squats. And when I was doing that, I didn't think about wanting to kill myself. I didn't think about the cancer or the depression or the death.
Focus, didn't you?
I had another focus. Yeah. And all the focus was next press up, next press up, next press up, until I got to 50. Next squat, until I got to 50. and the release of endorphin I
Yeah.
got in my body. I can feel it now,
Yeah.
right? And it was just incredible. And it was a better fix than any Foster's. And so at that point, I was like, maybe I'll put off suicide for the moment. And instead, on Monday, I thought maybe I can just do some exercise.
Maybe I could go to the gym.
Maybe I can go to the gym. So instead, I didn't want to drink at night because I wanted to wake up without a hangover. And so I woke to go to the gym and work. I woke up the next day and I worked out. And in that moment of at 45 minutes I was working out, I forgot about my everything.
Yeah.
And in the 45 minutes afterwards, my endorphins level was so high. I felt like such a great buzz.
And it's a natural buzz, isn't it?
Yeah.
You feel like it's natural high.
Completely. And so I call it fitness over Foster's.
Yeah. And you've made a conscious decision to choose exercise over antidepressants or anything like that.
Completely, yeah. And I'm not against antidepressants. I think I've got friends and I've spoken to lots of people about my view on it, and I don't have a view. I think it's about doing whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And for me, I bring it back to the gym analogy, which is some people like high intensity training, some people like power building, some people like cardio, some people like yoga. Everyone's different. It's whatever works for you.
Yeah.
And for me, fitness became my antidepressant. And the more I started doing it, the more, for me, it helped me to switch off. And then what I then did is it helped me to get into therapy and get counselling and got help. And then here I am.
Yeah, here you are.
Yeah.
Talk to us today.
Yeah.
Thank you. What an incredible story.
No,
Really.
thank you.
Really. I think it's really testament to, like you said, hope, to know that there's still hope out there, and to the human resilience and the strength that you have. So thank you for sharing that with us.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for having
And
me
all
on.
the best of your mental health advocacy.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. See you in the next episode.
Hello, welcome, Ricky and Dozah.
Thank you very much.
So, I believe that you're a fitness team.
Yeah, we did together. Yeah.
It's called Dreams and Resilience.
Dreams and resilience. Yeah, that's right.
So, what made you come up with that name, and what made you start this fitness?
Journey.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, Dream and Resilience name is like basically I don't know what many people know about it's DR, so Dozah and Rick.
Okay.
But it's also, if we relate it in a way, it's also dreams and resilience. I'm a resilience guy, and he has a dream, so we come together with the name that that inspire people. You have a dream and you want to chase it. And you become resilient about it.
Yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, it started off where like unexpectedly, just one day I was just sitting around, just have a look at my phone, and I got a message from Rick. Because this time, funny enough, how we actually met was there was a gym called the Gym Group, and this was like just literally about 5 minutes walk from my house. And then every time I go in there, because these times I was going to college as well in my second year, so every time I walk in there, he's always there, just playing, like just like training and stuff. So we became acquainted, and then like seeing everyone in there all the time.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, we started training. I started training in other gym, and then
I've seen all your videos on
Yeah,
Instagram.
exactly.
I follow you. So
so we just started doing this thing and come up with the idea that why not we just join it together and become a one man army to this road.
And what's your fitness goals and like your inspiration towards this? Like your motive for doing this, if that makes sense.
We have our individual goals that we're trying to achieve, to get more into healthy lifestyle, same as well. But main motive is for Dream and Resilience for us is to encourage more people, especially young adults, so they don't get deviate to the bad activities like drugs and all that. So that's the main thing that we want to encourage more people to come out of the house, to have the fitness in them, so they can get their mental well-being into it.
Okay.
That's the main purpose.
That's a good goal.
Yeah, that's the main purpose. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would say just exactly what you said, because like what we're doing, because we've actually divided the Dreams and Resilience into three sectors. So we've got the podcast where like we just invite people to talk about the journey, and then from where they started, just like the mental health or whatever it may be that you want to talk about. And then there's also the branding as well,
The
which is
brand,
the
we
clothing.
do clothing as well. We
Yeah.
did a project in summer.
Yeah.
It's quite good success, and there's gonna be another project that'll be coming in summer.
Yeah.
So that's another
Okay.
one.
Yeah,
Then
definitely.
the third one is fitness influencing,
Yeah.
where we just talked about. So
Yeah, just
we're
go-
trying to hit 3 different sectors, so
Sectors,
people
yeah.
can come.
Yes.
People can come train with us.
Yeah.
We can go train with them and learn the new techniques.
Yeah.
Learn the different ways how to get healthy.
Yeah.
And at the same time, come on a podcast and talk about like what we're doing now.
No,
Exactly.
And then you invite us. So
Yeah.
people come and talk about your fitness journey and talk about your
Yes.
story and
Yeah.
and light more people like struggle you've been through and
Yeah.
tell us and get more people out of it. And same time, what we want to do with the clothing is we want people to feel that struggle, we feel that pain, and get that into the
Yes.
clothing so they can relate to it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the what
That's-
clothing
that's-
is. We
yeah,
is
that's
And
what it is,
how
yeah.
long have you been doing this for then?
It-
Like how long, or are you just starting out?
to be honest, it's quite a startup.
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
honest.
'cause
It's
like
less
when-
than a year,
yeah,
and we have grown so
Go
much. to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
honest.
definitely.
Yeah.
Because when we started the Dreams of Resilience, it was about, I think, 6-7 months.
Okay.
And then we didn't really get into the clothing part of it until I think about 4 months into it.
Yeah.
Because obviously we're just trying to, obviously, because
Yes.
these times we just started training together. So I was just like, okay, cool. Do you know what? Let's just train together. Let's just, get more
Get more.
like acquainted. And
Exactly.
then we just start something up. And then,
Okay.
Yeah,
funny
it's
enough,
the-
like how we started the brand as well.
Yeah, the brand itself says it's all. To be honest,
Yeah,
It's
no.
dreams and resilience.
Yeah,
It's
that's it,
just-
man.
It
Just
says itself.
says
it's
itself.
like-
Yeah.
So it's
And-
quite interesting as well.
Yeah. And people who suffer from mental health turn to antidepressants.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So do you feel gym and fitness is a good antidepressant in
Defo.
itself?
Defo, man, there's no doubt about it.
Definitely.
So people suffer from mental well-being, mental health is because they get sad of something, anxiety kicks in,
Yes.
and gym itself is a relief. When you go into the gym,
Yeah.
you see so many people training, you get influence from them, and it's just like the hormones that you get out of our training. You start feeling better
Yes.
by yourself. Before person actually feel better in here, when they look at themselves, they feel better. They start feeling better about themselves.
Exactly.
The
It keeps
men-
your
Keeps your mind going.
mind busy.
Mind and body, they connects together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you're not feeling about yourself, looking in a mirror, you don't feel that good. Obviously, you're gonna feel sad about it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
antidepressant and depression, how depression built up is from thinking, having a pressing on a negative thoughts.
Exactly.
So if you have a negative thought about yourself,
Yeah.
you keep pressing on it, that becomes into sadness, that comes into anxiety,
Yeah.
and
it
then
turns
that
out
turn into the condition called
condition
depression.
depression. Yeah.
Yeah. Because gym is not just about losing weight.
No,
No,
it's not.
It's about keeping fit,
Fit.
and a healthy mind.
Yes. Because what's happened is that when you go to the gym, it's no, like you said, it's not about losing weight or gaining weight. Some people just have a goal just to come out of the house, because they
yeah.
haven't been outside the house
Definitely.
for
Yeah.
Yes.
of 3-4 months, or like they into that deep thought of they fighting their own demon.
Exactly.
Just coming out to the gym
Yeah.
and just seeing other people doing the same thing, and people are very motivating in the gym. They will
Yeah.
encourage you to do.
Yeah.
And also, I would like to say that people have a bad perception of it. If you go to the gym, people will start looking at it. It doesn't happen all the time. It's
Yeah.
gonna be only like 0.99%.
Yeah, because
people.
Yeah.
I've spoken to people who say I don't like to go to the gym because I feel paranoid that people are looking at me
Yeah.
and things like that. But it's not always the case,
not
is
always-
it?
It's not always the
Yeah,
case.
see, that's what we're trying to do. We're like, because even with this company as well, we're trying to obviously like build a community where like we can actually engage with the people as well. So like just not just going to the gym, but obviously talking to people as well. Like, how you doing today? Like, what workout you got going on? Do you need any help with anything? Like, do you get me? Say, even with a spot, just give us a shout. We're out here. We just come help you out. So it's always necessary, like especially when you're in the gym, to actually be more open to yourself, because
Open.
everyone is in there for a purpose.
It's so true.
So yeah.
And you know what? It's so interesting that when you working out and you see lots of young adults,
Yeah.
like young males or females, they're training, and sometimes you go go speak to them. I say, how you doing? What's the worker like?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to be like
Yeah.
him. And I was like, bro, that's good.
Yeah.
And then you talk about the journey, about it, when they started,
Yeah.
what their goals are. So you're basically keeping them,
Yeah.
they're keeping them away from the bad habits. They can easily can caught up into and turning into that bad, into the energy,
Yeah.
into the positive energy. That's gonna help them a lot in the long
yeah,
run.
definitely.
When they
Yes.
grow, into a big, turn into the excellent life
Yes.
they want to live.
And how do you help people that are struggling to stay motivated?
Yeah.
See,
Like, what are your ways to do that? Yeah.
I mean, I would say one way of having to like help people is like always having to get them to train with us. Because I remember we've got like a few people where I was like, yeah, like listen, bro, I want to come train with you guys, innit? Because like, okay, do you know what? We're partner per session.
Yeah,
We come, we
let's
train
talk.
together. We talk. I mean, it's not just the session that we're doing. It's not just about the lifting weights and stuff. It's about what do you talk about after lifting the weights. You know, that resting period you've got, and then just talk about life, talk about whatever you want to talk about. Just get you out of your mind, really.
Yeah.
And also, that's why the social media sometimes can be deceptive as well. Same time, it's good for the people who are actually doing the right thing on it, like authentic
Exactly.
things. So if you should go on our social media, it's all about motivation. It's all about getting people to come and work out. If you're struggling with something, come talk to the people. There are fitness trainers in the gym you can talk to.
As well, yeah.
And it's all about one start. Motivation is a fire starter for anybody.
Yes.
Once you get started, it's just then it becomes.
You get used to it.
You get used to it, and then someone like you look up to it, and you see them doing the same thing, and you get but so there's different ways to get motivate people.
And it's funny as well because like I think that's one of the reasons why we actually created a podcast because it's like what do you do to get out of your comfort zone? So it's like just come, let's talk because it's like we create that comfortable space in a way like you can just talk about anything really.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah,
And
it's good.
yeah.
It's good stuff.
What do you think are the biggest misconceptions about the fitness industry?
One of the biggest ones you probably say is like when like you go in the gym, like you're seeing people like I was like I feel a bit intimidated and stuff. But like really and truly like everyone's in there for a purpose because you don't just go to the gym because I want to look like someone. But you're going in there because obviously, cool, okay, I'm always at home, but I want to do something. Just get out of your comfort zone. It could be a mental health, it could be spiritual, it could be whatever it may be the reason that you're in the gym for. So just don't just look at it as in like, okay, cool, I want to be like this guy because he's got like 6 packs or whatever. No, that's not it because everyone's got different genetics at the end of the day. So I would say if you're
You
hitting the
can't
gym,
compare.
you can't. Yeah,
Everybody, the results will be different for
Yeah.
everyone.
Everyone, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's one of the biggest misconceptions that where like you're looking at someone, so I want to be like that guy, and then all of a sudden you get yourself trapped.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you get yourself trapped into like, it's been like 6 months and I haven't seen any progress. And
Haven't seen like I
yeah.
always said, it's not a rocket science. It's gonna come very, very.
It was slow. It's a slow progress, man. Yeah.
But is it also about what you eat as well? Because isn't that like
very
80% of your fitness?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely because
Of what you eat.
you break the
Yeah.
tissues and then you go eat. You feed yourself.
Yeah, feed
Then
yourself,
you over. That's what you mean.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So diet is very important as well because
Yes.
if you're training like if you're just training to be a fit, again you have to keep your diet in compose. Like you have to keep it in ratios that you're not eating too less to lose weight or you're not eating too much to gain weight. So it depends what your goals are. If someone who's training really hard, their diet their micros might be different from someone who just want 20 minutes cardio so they can keep moving.
Yes.
It depends. It varies from people to people and what age they are, from gender, what
That's
the goal
true.
types are. But the healthy diets plays a vital role.
I feel like this is one of the most important as well.
It's most important as well, but same time, if you're not training,
you gotta train
and you're just
properly as well.
eating, but then
Yeah.
it's gonna fire back.
It's like trying to find a balance, but obviously not
Yes.
overlet it. Like
It's true.
I want to touch back on the misconception that I think we already talked about it, but I think
Yeah.
that when you come to the new people and look at you, I think we already talked about it, but
Yes.
it's mostly come from the female point of view when they are very female feel very
Self-conscious.
self-conscious about not coming to the gym and I think
Exactly.
I think-
yeah, that's how I felt
do
when.
you feel the same?
Yeah. I feel like very, paranoid.
Yeah.
But then there are good things
Yeah.
about going to the gym because, yes, you can meet other people.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're in an environment where other people are training, it gives you that motivation as well.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
because if you're doing home workouts, you're not with other people.
Yeah. You still isolated.
Yeah,
the
that's
thing.
what I mean.
You know, I mean, it's interesting to say that, but people struggle for social skills. People have anxiety to leave the room.
Yeah,
You
that's
have
very
to
true.
get in that point of view. But if you leave the house and you come to the gym, that you just making a bigger step of your life that can
And-
actually improve your life. in a way.
Yes. And what do you feel about home workouts, or do you rather go to the gym?
I mean,
Like
during COVID, everybody has proved that home workouts are the best one that we've been doing home.
Yes.
Because we can't go out, so people was getting innovative, started doing the home workout. But it's good to have a home workout, but same time, you come out, you see other people, you meet your friends as well. So I'm not sure about it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think having a home workout only depends, obviously, if you can't make it to the gym, because there's no excuse not to be in the gym, innit?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I mean, it's not even going to the gym. It's about the journey. To
The journey.
gym as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, I remember back in the days was like after COVID times, innit? Because we've all got used to like working at home.
Working at home, yeah.
And then these times I remember I used to have like a few dumbbells on the side, and I would just come like do some few bicep curls and stuff, innit? But I was saying that if you've got the chance to go to the gym, then yeah, definitely do so. But
I
if
do
you can't,
want to touch the story when
Yeah.
COVID time. I had our little garden. It was so small, and I was feeling so depressed that I can't go out. I already done. I think that time we was allowed one time out the house. I can't remember they going allowed us. You can only go for like one time.
one, oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
Day one in the day. or
That time I
something,
was training to get into the team, so I already had my run in the morning, and I'm thinking, what I'm gonna do? I'll have to go in a garden. I went in the garden. I see my neighbor. She's filming me. What this guy doing in the garden?
Just running around in the garden.
And I feel so bad. I was like, come on, take a picture. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, it's crazy.
it's crazy. But yeah, like Dozah said, if you can go
If you
out,
can, yeah.
go out, pattern up with your friends.
Yes.
You know, make a group circle.
Exactly.
There's a in the gym you have classes.
You can do
That's
classes.
the best way of someone who struggle to train by themselves.
Yeah.
Join them classes, and most of the gym classes are free.
Mm-hmm.
And you will
Yeah,
make
if you're
a small community around in the classes, and
Yeah.
you're enclosed in the small circle as well,
Yeah.
which is the best way to do it.
I think it's about motivation and having that willpower.
Willpower, exactly. Yeah.
Because I know people who pay for the gym, they don't even go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's me.
Nah, but,
Yeah,
there's always a start. I mean, paying for the gym membership is the first step.
Therefore,
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
Exactly.
It's always a start. Definitely,
Yeah.
it's always a start.
And so, what's the next step for Dreams and Resilience? What's your next step now?
We are working on a bigger project, so we are inviting bigger people. I mean to say bigger guests to come train with us, or we go train with them.
Okay.
And we're trying to raise our podcast as much we can, inviting more people to come and talk to us and share their journey, so we can inspire more people. We are also looking to launch a new project. Will be in summer coming up soon as well. Plus, we have our individual goals that we need to achieve as well.
yeah.
So we can influence more people and show them if we
Yes.
can do it, you can do
can
it as well.
Exactly.
We didn't come from very big background. We have
No.
background, so yeah, anybody can do it. Be the 1% out of 99%. That's the main goal.
Yes. So where can we find you? Like on do you have a website?
Yeah,
Obviously
yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
So website is still under construction. Right now, it's still I would say.
Yeah.
You can still use the
it's-
platforms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the platform, social media platform we use on Instagram.
So Instagram.
Yeah, so if you go search on Instagram, Dream Resilience, you will find us. Same goes on TikTok as well.
Yeah, same goes on TikTok as well, and then YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
YouTube
we
as well,
we
yeah.
regularly doing gym videos on the YouTube. Guys,
Okay.
please go follow us. We need
Yeah.
your love as well.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. man.
And then on the same, we do the podcast. Then it goes on a YouTube,
Yeah.
and then we put short clips on our Instagram to get more people into it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything else you would like to share? Or-
I mean, I would just like to, I don't know, inspire just people that are struggling, really.
Yeah.
Just give them a little motivation that there's always a start. Let's say, for instance, like if you want to start a journey and you feel like you're struggling, don't feel too stressed in it. Even if it's just going for a walk, you get me? Just do it. Just do what you have to do. Just take that first step. Just don't be too stressed into starting your journey.
Yes.
And yeah, just take it slow and easy, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, a lot of the time, people get too stressed into like being successful. You can even get trapped in it, and then you don't even realize it.
It starts with the mindset,
Yeah,
though.
definitely,
You
yeah.
need to have that mindset to be able to even start the gym.
Start the gym. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mindset plays a big part in it, and
Yeah.
like you said, you're weaker here,
Yeah.
weaker here, and you can just show
Because
yourself.
if I'm depressed,
yeah,
I wouldn't want to go to the gym.
therefore,
Yeah.
That would be the last on my
last
mind.
on
Exactly,
your
yeah.
mind. You will be like, how I won't get it out of this bed. I've been in the bed for
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah.
I can't get out of it.
But how can we get out of that mindset?
You know, it's very tough to say it how, but there's a ways to do it. The small ways are just to make one decision. What do you want to do with your life? Is like when you goes into depression, you're fighting your own demons. It's making a one call to your friend or a family. I'm struggling. I need help.
Yeah.
It's making a one call or text to someone that you know they can help you. That's where they're gonna help. So one step telling them, oh, I'm struggling, can you help me? And then talk to them. Communication is a big thing that missing in everyone, like when they struggle and go through the phases that we just switch off ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk because we might be embarrassed of talking about your problems. We might not feel that we might feel that the other person is not that page, but if someone loves you and care about you, they will reach out to you and they will help you. I think the best way to come out of depression is to speak to someone
Yeah.
and then follow the steps, what you're gonna do
What you gonna
next.
do, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's funny,
true.
it's funny to think because like lately, it's just personally, just from my own experience. I don't know. Hopefully, this might help someone that's out there as well. The first thing, like, because like lately, I've not been feeling very good because obviously I've been working late nights and then not trying to obviously, trying to balance with the work that we're doing together. So it's been putting me down. So the first thing I've actually done was to actually question myself, like how bad you actually want this, and then actually notice the problem and where it's coming from. So I feel like it's very important if you're going through depressing times to notice what's causing that depression and then sit through it.
Find the root
Find
cause
root
of the
cause to it.
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then deal with it. It doesn't have to be straight in, let's go, let's deal with it. Just take it day by day and then until you get to the final day that you need to,
It's
feel
it's say that,
comfortable.
but men mental health and women mental health are a bit different. Men are a bit stubborn, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know it's not been touched on a lot about men mental health, but
Yeah,
It's not
because
been
men
touched.
don't show it, do
men
they?
don't show it. Like
yeah.
men like me, I'm a stubborn guy. I won't show it. I won't show it. It's bad though to say it, but sometimes you gotta admit it. If
It's
you're
not good to bottle it inside
No.
you.
No, it would just explode.
Yes.
And then if you see men's suicide rates are way higher.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's way higher than female right now because female does get support a lot. Men's getting as well, but it's just our own thing. that
yeah,
we
I mean,
don't
see, that's why it's very important as a man, just
And
find a
women-
small circle. Yeah,
Yeah,
find a
and
small
women
circle.
really
of
show
friends.
it a lot, don't they?
Yeah. definitely,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah,
They-
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I feel like it's for anyone, it's very important. Just find a small group of people that you feel comfortable to speak to, because like we go through a lot that we don't even realize it through these
It's
whole
like-
times, man.
You know
It's
when you go
crazy.
through the journey and you
Yeah.
realize, oh yeah, I didn't even realize the pressure just keep building up
Yeah,
on me.
it's mad.
And you're acting so cool, yeah, it's all good, it's gone good.
Yeah.
But if you're not, like you say, if your mindset is not there and it's keep building up, you're gonna break one day, and
Yeah.
you need that pressure out. You need to give yourself sometime, to let go of everything and just say, okay, I'm gonna switch off for a day. That's how I do. I switch off for a
Yes.
day, and then I ain't doing nothing. I'm gonna switch off, forget everything, chill,
Yeah.
do whatever you gotta do. There's a strategies like
Yeah.
keep building up.
Keep building up, definitely. Yeah.
Then you need to come back to the where you belong to.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying,
crazy.
for a day.
Even if it's like go for a walk or swimming or whatever, just have a break and then do stuff that
Yeah.
you're passionate about, and then hopefully that will help ease you a bit. Yeah.
I think other thing is write down your goals are very important.
Oh, yes.
If you-
Keeping like a journal.
Keeping like a journal, yeah.
Write down your future goals, your
Yeah.
ambitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe having a vision board.
Vision board, I do
That's
that.
what I've
I
heard.
have it, I do that vision board. And,
Yeah.
And I love it since, I don't know, do you know about Bob Proctor?
Oh yeah. The podcast.
I listen to a lot
Yeah,
of
definitely.
motivational speakers
Yeah.
like Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey is good.
He's
yeah.
really good.
Yeah. Steve Harvey.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
But The thing is that about them motivators, they have been through and they're talking
About their
about the experiences, but they are relating to other, which is quite good.
Yes.
And you know when you heard them, okay, you heard Tony Robertson talking, yeah, it fires you up, but the motivation doesn't stay with you longer. You have to put your own thoughts and experience into it. And
Yeah.
get into it.
Because it's nice to listen to them.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear their advice.
Yeah.
But if you don't apply it into your life,
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not gonna work.
It's not
yeah.
And also, I think
So-
other thing people also get discouraged by the goals is they look at the long-term goal and they keep looking at the big picture and they don't enjoy the small pictures that come through. That
Yeah.
discourage them a lot. So always be proud of yourself, guys,
Yeah.
when you're doing a small thing.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
embrace your
appreciate-
journey.
Embrace the journey.
Yeah,
That's what we
embrace your
always say.
journey, man.
And always, man,
Yeah,
always thank
embrace your
God
journey.
and be grateful.
Be grateful.
Be
Gratitude
grateful,
as well.
gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gratitude is a big thing. We
It
don't appreciate
is.
the small things we have, and next thing you know, you don't have it because nothing in this life is permanent.
Yeah.
Even a life can take on it tomorrow.
It's so
And we
true.
we have to show gratitude. as
Yeah.
well.
Tomorrow is not promised.
It's not promised at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, we're going to a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been great interviewing you, and
Thank you very much.
you know,
Appreciate it.
Very much.
please follow them on their
Yeah.
social medias.
Yeah.
The link is below. Thank
We'll-
you very much.
We would like to say thank you, Anna, once more.
Yeah, definitely.
And do guys please follow Mind Over
Mind
Matter
Over
on the
Matter, yeah.
YouTube and Facebook and Instagram as well. You guys are doing an amazing
Very
job,
amazing
you know,
job, yeah,
inviting
definitely.
people over
Yes.
and getting a short journey and, you know, influencing and at the same time encouraging more
Yeah,
people.
encourage more people. Yeah.
You know, definitely got attention. So, you know,
Yes.
so, yeah, that's a good thing. You're on a good path.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today. So stay tuned for our next interview. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, so we are at the panel session, and today we are going to be talking about mental health and struggles at work. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. How you doing? You all right?
Good. I think let's start off with let's telling everybody what we do for work, so they've got
Yeah,
some
nah, of course.
perspective.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm on. My name is Dozah, and I'm an electrician, and also I do about landscaping on the side as well, with a bit of plumbing and carpeting and stuff as well. So you can imagine
cool.
it's like I always like move from one work to another. So it's always like quite moving, isn't it? Like so
Yeah.
yeah. It's been good so far. Very busy as well. Because traveling is just insane. Because I
Ah,
actually
so
live in Bedford.
where do you travel to?
Yeah, so I live in Bedford, so I travel to Milton Keynes every day for work.
You live
as
in
well.
Bedford.
Bedford, yeah.
You travel to Milton Keynes. Wow.
Yeah, I know. So
Distance,
it's quite a distance, and it's about what, half an hour, 45 minutes.
And are you
depending on
driving
traffic.
or are you on the train?
Yeah,
driving.
driving there. Yeah.
And do you listen to anything that maybe helps you in the car?
Do you know what I like? I like my music.
Yeah?
So
Oh,
yeah, a lot of the time I'm just blasting away just to keep my mind off the
Same.
traffic. And but yeah, definitely, man. It's been good. It's been good. Definitely,
Yeah.
And then yeah, man, like and then having to like obviously travel there. Sometimes you actually just get traffic on the way as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes I might be late for work. So obviously waking up at 6, like
Yeah.
you can imagine how the traffic might be.
Waking
So
up at 6.
I know.
So early.
crazy. It's so crazy, but nah, definitely it's been good. It's been
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And what do you do?
I'm a counselor and
Yeah.
psychotherapist. Yeah, so it's working usually one-to-one,
Yes.
which is
Mm.
and often online, which can be quite lonely.
Yeah, I mean, you're listening to everybody else's problems. I mean, how do
kind of
you
quite
deal with...
hard stuff? Sometimes.
Yeah.
yeah.
You have to process that,
Difficult,
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do you separate that from, your life and work? Because it can be very easy to take that into your own
Yeah, you
life,
can
right?
find activities to distract yourself and just go out and meet people. That's really
Yeah.
important.
What kind of activities do you do?
Or like come here.
Yeah, talk about it.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I work remotely, and I find that really difficult because I'm such an extrovert.
Yeah.
I'm single. I live alone, and I work remotely. So I feel like I'm alone. I'm in
Yeah.
alone for long,
Yeah.
extended periods of time, and often, since the pandemic, really, I've been alone.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy ever since the pandemic. innit?
Yeah.
It's just, everything's just changed, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm trying to find work where at least I'm in the office a little bit, or I'm seeing clients a little bit, so that I can kind of change up my day. And also get back into fitness, which obviously helps with mental health, of course.
Definitely
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, going to the gym.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, what did you say is your most stressful part of your job besides the driving to work, like actually in the role?
You know what? Apart from driving to work, I feel like it's mainly just like having to switch from one role to another.
Yeah.
Let's say, for instance, like, okay, cool, I've got one day now, I've got my first fixing doing as an electrician, and the next day I've got to go to some landscaping site as well to start doing some digging and stuff, innit?
Oh, it's a hard work though,
No,
hey? You must be fit.
I know, because, I mean, thank God I'm doing the fitness thing as well. So.
You need to go to the gym. Actually.
Definitely, yeah. So I feel like going to the gym has actually helped me a lot.
Really?
Yeah,
Even though your role is so
physically drained, because
Yeah.
I have to, because obviously me and my guy partner Rick, we run this Dreams and Resilience, and then so he's a clothing company, clothing brand at the same time as well, fitness creating and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so we try to do a podcast and then all these other stuff on the side as well.
Oh, what's the podcast called?
Yeah, Dreams and Resilience as well.
Dreams
and,
of
Resilience.
Dreams and Resilience.
And Resilience, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then so after every work hours or whatever, I need to come back because obviously we need to train, we need to create content. So I can't
Oh my
lack.
gosh.
Yeah.
So you've got really long days.
Pretty much. It's
Really
always
long.
Yeah. So once I leave home around maybe 7 or 6 or whatever, by 10, 11 I need to be at home. So it's
What do you like to do on the weekends to relax then?
Do you
drink more fitness?
Nah, I don't even drink. I'm quite boring, you know. I'm actually so boring, man. Like on a weekend, apart from family, I just sit at home. Just doing nothing, or maybe go for walks or something. Because there's some nights like parks and country
It's
parks.
nice not to keep doing work.
No.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I mean, he goes out all the time. He's like, yo, you need to come out. I was like, nah, I'm not really a going out guy like that. But I'll go out, chill with the man, chill with the boys and stuff, whatever. But yeah, going clubbing where it's not really me,
Yeah.
to be honest, yeah.
It's nice to have a little bit of everything. Actually, I'm doing a full moon ceremony tomorrow, so it's a little bit of spiritual stuff.
Yeah, that's
It's
super exciting.
Libra full moon. And I was out for dinner last night, so it's nice to have a balance, especially if you've got stress at work.
Yeah.
To have the weekends, to have a little bit of balance, a little bit of
Balance,
social, a little bit of exercise.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love food, so
Nah,
and
nah.
food.
That's it, man.
Awesome. Well, thanks guys for sharing your stories. It's been
definitely,
great
man.
to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
That's
me
it
as
for
well.
our panel session. I hope you enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.
Well, that's it for today's episode 8 of Mind Over Matter. Thank you for joining us, and a special thanks to our guests and also to the other hosts. That's it from me, Claire Commons. See you next time.
Oh, that was good, wasn't it? Mm. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, one sec. Yeah. Well, it's supposed to make my life easier. Yeah, not the other way round. Oh, God, she is fucking useless. Yeah, she really is.
Hey, some of us are going out tonight. Coming along?
She is fucking useless.
Are you right?
The worst. Absolutely useless.
Well, you let me know.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I'll be, yeah, don't worry, I'll be there. You know what? Unbelievable. Oh, I'll tell you later.
Oh, hey, Jamie. You suddenly disappeared last night. Oh, sorry. What happened though? Jamie. Take care of yourself. Jimmy! Wow. I saved you, huh?
think I need help?
You do. But I'm here. Everything will be alright. Oh shit!
That didn't work. Right.
Sorry, that went right on my mouth.
Scene 3, take 5.
Thank you. Okay, settle. Yeah. Action.
Hey, Sammy.
Sorry.